Between 10 and 11 o'clock, we're going to speak to the ANC about this roll call and what the president has said. What is this intended to do? We're going to be joined by some analysts as well. At 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. Today, we're looking at what the law says about retrenchments and what your rights are when it comes to that. And then 11:30 for our health and wellness feature, we're going to be discussing meditation for beginners. Do you meditate? What benefits do you get from meditation? Those benefits are part of what we're going to be discussing on our health and wellness feature this morning at 11:30. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, you're probably seeing like a giant, it's a painting? Is it a painting? It's a painting, right? Of a lion, in very bright colors. Abel, why did you put this here? And I'm saying this because Abel has just put it behind me, which means you're going to see it on YouTube, and you're probably going to ask, whoever sent this painting, thank you very much. It came from Anonymous. Thank you. So I'm just saying, those who watch on YouTube, don't be surprised when you see this giant painting behind me. Okay, two things I want to say about what President Cyril Ramaphosa has said. These are my views. Let me know what you think, right? The first thing I want to say is President Cyril Ramaphosa needs to decide if he's a politician or not. For instance, what he said yesterday, was it politically smart? I don't think so. He has just delivered to the DA on a silver platter a campaign advert. And the DA, my friends, they are going to run with this. That an entire president of the biggest party in the country has endorsed the DA's good governance. So why would you then, in the next local government elections, not vote for a party that the president has endorsed and has celebrated for its good governance? That's what the DA is going to ask. And here's where I think the president makes a mistake. He needs to decide whether he's a politician or not, because there are things that he wants to go. There are times, right, when he wants to go against the grain and he does certain things and he becomes honest. He becomes a different politician. Remember when he declared that the ANC was corruption accused number one, which played directly into the hands of the ANC's opponents? I mean, yeah, it's an honest statement to make. South Africans will love you for it, but is it the best political statement to make? I don't think it is. So he would argue, I'm not playing politics. I'm telling it like it is. But then he's got instances where he refuses to take action against certain people or even condemn certain people because it won't work for him politically. So he chooses when to play politics and when not to play politics, which then confuses us. Huh? So he must choose whether he's a politician or not. And if he's one, then I don't think the statement that he made yesterday at an ANC Imbizo was politically smart a few months before the next local government elections. It was honest, sure. But this is politics, Mr. President. Helen Zille has just been secured the mayoral position in Johannesburg. I'm telling you.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
But did he lie? I don't think he lied. And I don't understand why there are some ANC leaders and members who feel offended by what President Cyril Ramaphosa said, that most municipalities that do best are DA controlled. I mean, I spoke to some NEC members last night and they were fuming. They're now accusing the president of endorsing the DA, or the DA's good governance record. But did he lie? Is it not a fact that the DA has the best run municipalities? What is the top ranked metro in this country? Is it not Cape Town? Who runs Cape Town? Oh, the DA? Okay, what is the worst performing metro in this country? Is it not Mangaung? Who runs Mangaung? Oh, okay. What are the best 5 performing municipalities based on various reports, whether it's by Good Governance Africa or the Auditor General? What are they? Swartland Local Municipality, it's in the Western Cape. Drakensberg Local Municipality, Western Cape. Saldanha Bay, Western Cape. Mossel Bay, Western Cape. Midvaal, Gauteng. What are the worst performing municipalities? Makana in the Eastern Cape. Sunday River Valley, Eastern Cape. Nketwana, Free State. Ditsobotla, Northwest. I can go on and on. Who runs these municipalities? So I don't think there's any question around the statement the president makes. I saw Kusela Diko, who's the former spokesperson of the president and now the chair of the Portfolio Committee on Communications in Parliament, tweeting that, and I quote, Cape Town under so-called good governance of the DA. I suspect the president was misled on this one, end quote. And then she tweeted a story about residents of Olympic Park informal settlement in Goodwood in Cape Town who have been protesting against the lack of service delivery because they took land in 2023 and now they claim that they've not been provided with the essential services like water and electricity, which is a story of any informal settlement around this country, isn't it? But the Western Cape municipalities, if you look at the reports that have been produced, have been leading the way with clean audits. So why are we surprised by that? I think there's a bigger picture here. Part of the reason that there's so much dysfunction at local government and in most municipalities run by the ANC is that some of our public officials just don't have the skills and capacity for the positions they occupy. And there was an assessment compiled by SALGA, the South African Local Government Association. And you know what they found? They found that 62% of councillors had been unable to use basic computers, guys, basic computers to enable the passing of crucial municipal budget. The presidency also indicated a while back that only 53% of senior municipal managers meet the minimum competency levels. So with this reality, of course, there's going to be dysfunction. And the problem is political parties, including the ANC, don't deploy people with capacity in some instances. And that causes the problem. So until local government is professionalized to ensure the culture of competence, we're not going to get anywhere. And I often wonder, how do these councillors deal with complex issues? You know, some of them financial, that are facing municipalities. And I guess it doesn't help that legislation doesn't require that these councillors must at least have some minimum education level. So it doesn't make sense that a Joburg municipality like that, which controls what? In charge of 81 billion rand budget, makes decisions for about 6 million people who live in Johannesburg. And you've got Mayor Kabelo Kwamanda at some point, who was the mayor of Johannesburg, who didn't even have matric. Are you kidding me? And you want to come back and complain? And you voted for that person because political expediency? Come on. 18 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
Tebogo, what's going on there? Tebogo, you're calling us from Benoni. Good morning.
Hi, Clement.
Sure, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. No, I want to win on the president as well as Kweremantashe, but much on the president. I view a president as some kind of a plant or somebody who has been planted to ultimately destroy the ANC from within. Especially after yesterday, I think it just confirms that. So let me just put it this way here. I'm not a member of both ANC and the DA, including the MK, by the way. But if you remember very well, the entire existence of MK draws its roots from the fact that, or from the notion that there's somebody who has been planted into the ANC, and the ANC got Ramaphosa. Those are the statements that were used by the former president. And if you judge everything that has been uttered by the president yesterday, you'll understand, or maybe there is an element of truth to what the former president has been saying, that there is a plant into our party to destroy this party from within. And obviously, if you also draw what we just recently raised, or he once said ANC is accused number one. So closer to elections, he has to decampaign. And remember now, anything that the president says, who is also the president of the leading political party, in terms of numbers, it will ultimately destroy the morality of those remaining voters.
Yeah. But don't ANC councillors also need to hear the truth, Tebogo?
Yeah, but remember now, the president does have platforms in private session.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
in not in. You know what he's doing is, if you're doing it in public, where members, neutral voters like us. I mean, now I'm not loyal to any political party. I make my decision the day before by assessing the performance of all these political parties. So voters like us will be swayed into opposition or opposing political parties instead of remaining. Because if the president itself doesn't have confidence in his own party,
why would you, Tebogo? Like, why would you vote? Why would you not vote for a DA when the president of the country is telling you that these people are running municipalities better? And again, let's make a distinction here. There is no doubt that what the president has said is in fact factual. Reports have indicated that. I've tried to at least take you through, the worst, the best performing municipalities. So the question is not so much the factual, and the accuracy of what the president has said. That's not the issue here. It's not about the truth. And we can argue that because, like I say, some NEC members that I spoke to last night who were fuming. And I said, but did the president lie? They're like, no, it's not about whether he lied or not. It's about the timing. The elections that are coming up. Are you a politician or not, Mr. President? And if you are, then you would know that a statement you made yesterday it's not politically smart. It doesn't work for your organization. And I think the president can also claim that he's an honest, transparent leader who is a different politician, because he is not. He's just like every politician. And I've demonstrated, I've given you an example before, that there are certain decisions that he's taken that were not in the interest of this country. They were in the interest of managing the politics in the ANC. So he chooses when he wants to be a politician. This time around, he has just handed Helen Zille Joburg. Tsepo, you calling from Pretoria. What are your thoughts? Hi.
Hi, Clement. I think the president has just handed the local government election in a silver platter to the DA. I could not agree more with the previous caller, Tebogo, that is a fact that the DA municipality are being run perfectly in the country. And there are a number of municipalities, some of the municipality we're coming from, smaller municipality, we know is a disaster in those municipalities. But what the president could have done at least is to call the ANC like the roll call that they're doing, but doing that separately, not in a public space like he did yesterday. But for mere fact that he do that in a public space, that is to hand the local government simply to the DA. And I've never voted the DA in my entire life. But now if the president of the ANC and the governing party endorsing an opponents to say they are the best, and in a public space like that, so he's saying to all of us to say, look, this is the best municipality that's being run by the DA, and the entire country, they must simply go and endorse the DA next year.
All right, Tsepo in Pretoria, thank you. Lulama, you're in Winchester Hills. What do you want to say? Hi.
I claim it's your own goal, Lena, but yeah. Also, this is a very high-level statement from the president. What is he not saying with what he is saying, And in his sincerity, if one would want to look at sincerity, if one wants to balance the polls, what is he really insinuating? It's like among friends, when someone doesn't say something, and then when the outcome of it comes, is revealed. It's like, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
So watch this space. We live in interesting times.
We
Thanks,
do.
Clem.
Yeah, I just think that when you're a politician, you have to be politically savvy. That means understand the nuances, understand the timing, understand what you say and where you say it, and please don't even try to argue that the president is like, he's an honest, different politician. Really? Really? How many decisions has he taken that have demonstrated that he also thinks about his political expediency? When he has appointed who Who's that guy that the president, Arthur Fraser, to correctional services after everything Arthur Fraser has done at the State Security Agency? What decision is that? When he was appointing Abu Batabile Dlamini in his cabinet, knowing very well how problematic some of those characters were, and you could tell, does he even have confidence in some of these people he appointed? And yet he did. Why? Political expediency, because it worked for him. He needed to manage the politics in the ANC. So please, this is not a president. What decisions did he take around the former President Jacob Zuma when he was in jail? I can go on and on and on. This man has taken decisions that don't put this country first, that put his political career first. And you want to argue now that, oh no, he's an honest, transparent politician? I'm not convinced. Kustas, you're in Midrand. Good morning.
Hey, Clement, I'm enjoying this show this morning. Yesterday, Clement, you were talking about councillors. A lot of people called and complained about ANC councillors. There's something that I like about President Ramaphosa. He's able to tell the truth at the right time, in the right platform, for the right people. The ANC, when Clement, is so tone deaf at local government level, even across Nigeria, to a point that Dada Morero does not deserve to sit in the seat. If we were to swap today, move Dada Morero from that position and bring in Dr. Nasipi Moya from Pretoria, Johannesburg by January next year would look different. What does that tell you? It tells you that speaking to the ANC members behind closed doors does not work. So today they are angry when Clement for being told the truth. You know, the truth hurts more because they are used to politics of lies, politics of manipulation, politics of lying to South African public. And I think that the president, though he has his own flaws, when Clement, let's be honest, the people that work with him have set him up for failure in return. So they have not done him a favor by saying that we've got a good leader, we've got a leader that's just doing his best. They are not helping him. And he needs to pay it back to them. And I think that he has been consistent when it comes to municipalities, that the DA does well. So no, the people of the ANC must not be angry with Ramaphosa. We must be angry with them not supporting Ramaphosa in certain things that he wants to do for the good of the country. There's a Clement. Let me leave it there.
So, Puskas, let me ask before you leave. Do you think the president has been consistent in this truth and honesty and transparency that you speak of since he started becoming president?
He has been a politician, Clement, that has been a chameleon. Just like all politicians have been chameleons. That when it suits them, they're able to say certain things.
So is he a president that you celebrate? So if Ramaphosa has been consistent, I would take your point, because I would say, actually, you're right, Kustas. This is a man who's always stood for the truth. This is a man who's always stood for transparency. You yourself are calling him a chameleon, which then suggests to me that, okay, let's look at the timing then. This chameleon, the colors that it changes to right now, ahead of the next local government elections, does that help advance or decampaign the ANC?
ANC is supposed to take that with a bitter heart that says, guys, let's prove him wrong.
What,
That's
in
what
the
the
next,
president
8 months, you think the ANC councillors can go and transform their municipalities to convince you and I to vote for them?
Clement, I do appreciate the ANC councillors in Tshwane who are working with Dr. Nasipi Moya. They are working. The ANC, Clement, is not that it is incapable of working. They know how to work, you see, but they just don't want to work. The councillors in Tshwane, okay, in Tshwane, they are doing their level best. Those are just simply because it shows that when you've got the right leadership, ANC MMCs knows how to deliver services there. So I'm suggesting when I tell Clement that what the ANC members should take this to heart is to say, hey guys, let's change. Dada Morero is the first supposed to change and says, guys, I don't want the president says, let me step down so that people from Joburg South can get water.
But the same ANC, you do understand the same ANC president, his party would still go and vote for someone who doesn't have matric to run the same Johannesburg that you are saying is. So what does that say? So the president says this about learning from the DA, and yet his organization, and he doesn't speak out against it, his organization would go and support a candidate that doesn't even have matric to manage a multi-billion rand municipality with over 6 million people. I mean, isn't that contradictory?
It is contradictory, Clement, but this is politics that we're talking about. ANC has loyal members, Clement, who will vote for ANC even though it steals. Next year, ANC is going to have majority of councillors in that city of Joburg next year, even though DA can take it. So no, make no mistake, ANC members are upsetting here for a week. Next week, ANC next year.
That's true. One thing about them, in fact, the more controversy there is, the more they're like, we stick to the party. Kustas, thank you for your contribution. Sebastian, Paul, Mahlatsi, Ishmael, Molly, I see you. I'll start with your calls after the headlines. It's 9:30.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
24 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's go back to your calls. Paul, you're in Johannesburg. Good morning. Hi, Paul.
Hello, Clement, how's it?
Sure, man. Go ahead.
Fine. Look, this was the state of address by the president to those useless councillors who don't appreciate that people voted for them. And people are suffering in the townships. And they want, I like it. I like the way he did it yesterday publicly. Do you think the president didn't tell those useless guys in the closed session that, guys, look, our people are suffering. There's no water every week in the township in Soweto. It is mind-blowing. It is shocking. And you guys are driving big cars, arrogant, and drinking liquor like there's no tomorrow. You don't care about the community which voted for you, on the banner of the ANC because they love the ANC. It's not the first time the president has been telling these guys. That is why he said, I'm going to tell these guys in my State of Nation address to them, to the public. These fools, they must understand that they must deliver. It's not about own goal or whatever. It is about our people are suffering. Crime is now going up. Everything is going up. Expenses are going up. Who's feeling the pinch? It's a person in the township.
Yeah, Paul, I hear your frustration. But as I always say to everybody, I still want us to even respect the people we disagree with. So calling them fools is a bit harsh, I think. But you can very much so say that they're not doing their jobs. And I hear you. I understand that frustration. You, like many other people in other municipalities that are not receiving these services. And you're right, Paul, because there are now even businesses that are beginning to leave. They are forced out of communities. And people are now left without jobs. Why? Because of the failure of the municipalities, many of whom are run by the ANC. The failure to deliver services. Remember Clover in the Northwest? It's fed up and it announced, we're closing shop, we're relocating the factory to KZN. Remember Twiza, the biggest employer in Komani in the Eastern Cape? They got tired of the inefficiencies of the Mkijima municipality, which was failing to deliver basic services. And they also said, we're considering leaving. There was a chicken producer, Astral Foods, the biggest employer in Standerton in Mpumalanga. They had to fork out about 3 million rand to make up for lost production. Why? Because of lack of basic services in the Lekwa municipality. There were water cuts. So it's so bad in these municipalities that businesses are even taking them to God. They're litigating. My worry is I'm not prepared to go and celebrate a remark that is made by a president who in turn is not doing enough to ensure that there is efficiency and good governance at the same metros. It's all good and well to talk about it. What are you doing? Like, would the president support a legislation that says there's no way that anybody who wants to be a councillor doesn't have a matric? Or if you want to be a councillor, you don't have matric, then we must find a way to at least train you. I mean, if you are in council, you're going to hold the MMC of finance accountable. Do you even understand financial statements? Do you know how to read them? How are you going to hold an MNC of finance accountable when you don't understand even the basics of even economics? basics of budgeting. Because comrades are the ones that are put into these councils. Why hasn't the president spearheaded action like that? Why hasn't the president said, guys, why would you put a Kabelo Kwamanda in charge of an important metro like Johannesburg? Why? Because they take decisions that benefit them as political parties, decisions that benefit them as individual politicians. And now you want to celebrate him for, oh, look at what he's just said, telling it like it is. Oh, he's failed to tell it like it is many times in instances where it mattered when you look at local governments. Sebastian, you're in El Dorado Park. Good morning.
Morning, Clem. Yeah, it's time for them to go, Clement. Absolutely. Time for them to go. ANC must just go. You know, I haven't voted for another party in the last 4 elections, and I just haven't found a home. I haven't. The DA doesn't do it for me. One thing I can say, I can't. But I'll just maybe have to stay without a party until I can find somebody. But the ANC must just go.
All right, Sebastian in El Dorado Park. And by the way, guys, obviously, it's not every municipality of the ANC that is on the ground and has collapsed. There are some municipalities of the ANCs that are doing well, or that are shaping up, or that are beginning to shape up. And it's important to also note that. So it's a decision you must make as a voter. In your municipality, who is it run by? Whether it's the DA, ANC, IFP, whoever it is, are you getting the services you deserve? The rates and taxes you're paying, is there a return on that investment? And if not, then you are being naive for voting for the same organization that has been failing to deliver. Mahlatsi, you are in Midrand. Hi.
Hi, Clement. How are you?
Hey, Tara.
I'm good, man. I think Mr. President pulled them corners tackle on them. They were not waiting for it. He's been talking to them. I think what we see there is a frustrated president that has been talking with his people, and they are not listening. And the ANC members, as they are, spoiled kids as they are, they don't want to listen. They don't want to hear the truth. This is the truth. What are they doing? Nothing. If you look at all the examples he has made, it's all about them going there to learn, to say, okay, this is how other municipalities are operating, and this is what we can do, and bring changes to our people. But because they have got their own mandate just to eat, and not care about people. That's why they are complaining. That's why they are making noise. There's nothing wrong with what you said. Let's go and check. It's a competition. Let's see how other people are doing it. How are they winning? There's nothing wrong with that. But people, because they are concerned about their own stomach, it becomes a problem. Saying he's taking food from our hands now. He's giving it away. He's not giving it away. If they have to learn the hard way, Clement, by DA taking over, let it be. If they are DA is the racist, it's fine. We'll have to crumble in and see what we can do.
Okay.
Services.
Yeah.
We will have to receive services. It's better to receive services from a racist than not to receive services at all.
Okay. Okay, what do you mean? Okay, but that's in Midrand. Thank you. Let's go to Lubabalo in Kuguletu. Lubabalo, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Clement. How are you doing?
All right, man. Go ahead.
Good. Clement, what the DA does very well is change implementation of projects. And the rollouts are effective and the projects get completed. So that is what I have noticed with the DA. And previously, what I used to do is this: I split my vote. I vote DA locally because I'm based in Cape Town, and regionally I vote the DA, and nationally my vote was split between the ANC. But now, going forward, I'm going to vote DA nationally, locally, and nationally, because I really want other guys across the nation to also have their changes to be implemented, and then the change must be completed successfully. All the rollouts that the ANC are doing in their municipalities, they don't get completed in time. The money is always running out. They need to be bailed out almost every time. That is the problem. And that is why the DA is ahead of the ANC, because they actually implement their projects.
Yeah, and you are in Kukulet, right? One of the townships just outside of Cape Town, Lubabalo.
Yes, that's correct, Clement.
And here's what normally what the ANC often says to the DA is, yeah, Cape Town can be the best metro, but the DA only services these suburban areas. So as someone who lives in Gugulethu, and from what your observation, even in other townships or informal settlements, is that correct that the DA prioritizes suburban areas?
No, that's incorrect, Clement. I can testify this by saying that the DA is doing exceptionally well in Gugulethu, so much that we've got 2 pools. One is currently under renovations. The other one, the pool has been completed. I go there every weekend. We've got parks that are in perfect order. The roads are good, clean and maintained. The only problem that the DA is facing in Gugulethu and the surrounding areas is violent crime. Violent crime and murders and shooting.
Okay, got it. Libabalo in Gugulethu, in Cape Town. Thank you so much for that. Let's go to Tefo in Sharpeville. Tefo, what are your thoughts? Khotso.
Two points quickly. One, with all the noise that is going around after what the president said, I'm just wondering. I mean, all politicians, including the president, they do have speech writers. And then I'm just wondering, did the president depart from prepared speech, the speech that was written for him? Did he do that? And secondly, he is not the first. He's not the first politician ANC politician to praise opposition or competition. If we go back to history, at some point, O.R. Tambo himself did say, "Not everything that the enemy has done has been wrong. So let us copy everything, all the good that they've done. Let's copy that." And then all the wrong things, let's ignore that, but let's copy what the enemy, the good that the enemy has done. So Ramaphosa, listen, he has not made history. That's my point.
Okay, therefore, in Sharpeville, thank you very much. I suppose the question still remains. What he said publicly like that, separate the truth from it, because we've already looked at what the facts are saying about, which municipalities are run best. Go check the reports that have been released out there. It's the Democratic Alliance. They have most best-run municipalities. So separate that. I'm just also asking politically here. What he said yesterday, does it advance or decampaign the ANC? Politics is about, as I said earlier, nuances. It's about timing. You need to know what to say and when. There are local government elections coming up. Do you think that truth advances the interests of the ANC at this moment? That level of honesty and transparency? In fact, you must watch. I'm sure before the elections, there's going to be an ad on the SABC of the Democratic Alliance using exactly what the president said yesterday to campaign, because they are always going to find opportunities. Watch the DA use this on their campaign for local government elections.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
8 minutes before 10 o'clock. Tulani in Centurion, good morning.
No, Clement. To answer your question, it depends on who is listening. If the question is directed to a diehard ANC supporter, the answer would be no. This is a perfect message. It shows that the president is telling councillors to pick up their socks and to do hard work, and everything is going to change. It means next year the councillors that are going to go in, they're going to change everything, and everything is going to be rosy. But if the message is received by a person who's basically using their minds, this is definitely decampaigning the organization, because all it says is that we as the ANC have failed and the DA is successful, and therefore we need to go and benchmark ourselves against them, and perhaps we can learn a thing or two from them. And that person would be saying, well, rather I vote for the DA because they have proven themselves over the years. Why would I want to put people that have been there for 30 years, and in all these 30 years they have failed? My point, though, is that the ANC is moribund. Clement. The ANC is at the point of death anyway. So to venerate the other organizations and to tell people that, in fact, Tsakani Maluleka has been telling us this, we know it is a fact, that DA-run municipalities are run better than those that are run by the ANC. The point of the matter is it is actually a fact. And whether or not he had said it or he did not say it, for me, I think it's neither here nor there. He's simply cementing a point that every self-respecting and thinking South African knows. But to answer your question, I think to some, he would have decampaigned this organization badly. I mean, I looked at a tweet from Tony Ngeni this morning, and he wrote, meaning, I just think, well, why would a president say something like this?
Yeah, hey, listen, a lot of them are angry. Yeah, a lot of them are fuming. Tulani, thank you so much for your contribution. Semi in Coronation, good morning.
How's it, my brother?
Sure.
You and Elbrick, you're the two guys I really like the most. But I don't want you to get so emotional, man. It hurts me, man. I need to remind others.
Hold on, Semi. Your line is not so good, my friend. What's going on?
Okay.
Are you on loudspeaker? No, I don't think it's the radio. Maybe you're on loudspeaker. So try speak via the handset.
I'm not on loudspeaker.
Okay, let me put you back to the producers because I really want to hear what you've got to say. Semi is in Coronation. So let's try and figure out what's wrong with that line so that it can be clear. In the meantime, let's go to some WhatsApp voice notes.
Hi, Clement Jabuchilwani in Mkondo. The president praised the right people yesterday, and it was long overdue. The problem with the ANC is the deployment of incompetent cadres. The DA does the same thing, but they deploy knowledgeable, effective, compatible cadres. That's the difference between the two, and they really should learn a thing or two. It's not even about color. There are a lot of DA-run municipalities by black people. There is that one Ngobeni was presiding over, who has now moved on to another party. It was one of the best in Johannesburg. So they should learn rather than being arrogant.
Hi, Clement. On the issue of Ramaphosa praising the municipalities, those who are criticizing him, they must tell us exactly why is the ANC performing so badly, because they are not getting it right, and the best way is to learn from where things are being done correctly. So there's nothing wrong with that statement. They must tell us what is it that makes ANC municipalities so bad. They are truly so bad. So they mustn't make noise about Ramaphosa. Thank you.
What he's saying is true, but we already knew that a long time ago. I remember when they went to Khayelitsha, he was doubling down on that. He was saying something different. Now he's telling them the truth. He's doing a good job in destroying them. He has already put them down in 70% down to 40% of national votes. Now he's putting a nail in the coffin. It's good for us, some of us. And they want him to finish the term. They don't even know what to do with him. Really. They don't know what to do with him. As soon as he gets them to 20%, that's when they're going to realize, he's gone. And we don't want to hear the Mbalulas of this world after he has left, saying that how bad he was. We're doing the same with Zuma, praising him, 9 confident votes that were done by the opposition, 9 of them.